just truly, I didn't know what to expect when I was asked to be the keynote speaker for this commencement ceremony. But this is actually one of the best commencement ceremonies I've seen for a program such as the juvenile court. And I just want to tell you, graduates, congratulations, because your journey ahead is really just about the beginning. You have completed a program that is so phenomenal that many juveniles who are dealing with mental illness are not experiencing today. So I want to give you, and not only you, but also those in the room, just some words of encouragement. Because I thought to myself, what would I tell myself? I was diagnosed with PTSD back in 2012. I was attacked in my sleep while on deployment for the Michigan Army National Guard overseas in Kuwait, Afghanistan, and Iraq. And when I was attacked, I was diagnosed then with PTSD, which is post-traumatic, which was a post-traumatic experience for me. And I came home in so much denial. And I thought to myself, if I was diagnosed with a mental illness when I was a juvenile, what would I have told myself, or what advice would I have wanted to receive? And so the one thing that came to mind is a couple of words. The first word was faith. You gotta have faith not only in yourself, but you gotta have faith in your family. You gotta have faith in your friends. You gotta have faith in your therapist and anyone who's willing to help you. Because at the end of the day, it's not easy. Every day you might wake up with a thought that you never thought you would think about. Every day you might wake up with a moment where you just don't know if this is the right future for you. Should you be here? You might be in denial with yourself and doubting yourself, but you gotta have faith that things are going to turn around. The fact that you woke up today is a reason why you should be able to do something great. Well, every day you wake up, it's a moment for you to change your life around. Every day you went through this process of the juvenile court, mental health court, is a day where you actually took one step closer to being a better you. The second word that came to mind was strength. And it takes a lot for someone to have a mental illness, regardless if it's depression, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar. It doesn't matter what it is. Mental health is just as important as our physical health. When someone has cancer, we don't look at them and say, oh, that's someone with cancer. So when someone has a mental illness, we shouldn't call them by their mental illness. So the fact of the matter is, the strength that you have every day to know you're dealing with a mental illness, it takes a lot. It takes a lot just for someone like myself who has PTSD to say, I'm going to be a commencement speaker for a graduation ceremony. It takes a lot for me to go out every day and encourage and be a peer support group leader for the National Alliance for Mental Illness, where I run a support group every first and third Tuesdays at Providence Hospital. It takes a lot for me to be there for my peers. So you got to have that strength. You got to have the strength, not physically, but you got to have strength mentally to just know that regardless of what you're going through, that it's going to get better. You got to have the strength to know that when you get up every day, it's an opportunity not only for you to help yourself, but it's an opportunity to help someone else who might be dealing with a mental illness themselves. And the last thing that I just thought about, what else would I want to hear? And I think Kanye West said it best. He said it best recently in a song called Yikes. And I know some people don't really like Kanye, but this is one of the first times I had to truly say, Kanye has a point. And Kanye said it best. He said, I'm a superhero. My bipolar gave me superhero powers. It's not a disability. I'm a superhero. When I heard those words, I stood up in my house and I said, you know what? I'm a superhero. You know, I grew up as a kid thinking I would turn into X-Man and be like Wolverine. And the reality is, I have turned into that. Because having PTSD, or if you have bipolar, you have whatever mental health illness you have, you're a superhero. Because you live in two worlds right now. You live in a world where today you can end stigma. You live in a world today where you can relate to someone who probably is afraid to say they have a mental illness. You live in a world where you might have friends who might be dealing with depression and anxiety and can't talk to another adult, but they can talk to you. That's a superhero power within itself that most people do not have. That's a power for you to look at yourself and say, look, if I can live through it and I can survive it, then so can you. I've been where you've been. I've been through the things that you're probably thinking about. I had to live through it every single day for a year or 18 months by going through a program. So I know if I can survive that program, and I'm still going to school, my grades are improving, my relationship with my family is improving, my relationship in the community is improving, then so can you. So you guys are superheroes. We have a generation of 9 new superheroes that's joining me in this fight for mental illness and to end the stigma regarding mental illness. For the family and friends and supporters out there, you are watching these individuals today who are about to exhibit their superhero powers in ways that you have never imagined. So this ceremony is truly a welcoming ceremony. And I just want, for the family who are witnessing this, and you have experienced everything that they had to go through, you've been there for them, you've been supportive, continue to be supportive. It will be tough days. It will be not just easy, rosy times for them. It will be days where they wake up and they're probably not in there, probably not feeling themselves. But be encouraging. Be welcoming. Always speak positive to them. Because I know every single day, I say to myself, and I look in the mirror and I say, you know what? I'm a superhero, and today I'm going to use my superhero powers to help someone else. So I want the family to know you have to be encouraging to them in this process. You have to always be there for them and make sure that they're going through their appointments when they have to go to appointments. Making sure that the talks that they have are not just ending. Everything that they learned in this program, make sure you're reinforcing it back at home for them. Because that is key for them to continue to get better each and every day. Because it's going to be moments where we all feel like, how do I do it? Can I continue to do it? And I'll be honest, 2019 hasn't been an easy year for me. But the reality is, after being diagnosed with PTSD back in 2012, 7 years later, I'm still standing. I started off 2019, I was a part of the government shutdown. Can you imagine going 36 days, the longest government shutdown in history, and you ain't getting a paycheck? Well, I did it. By the grace of God, and I got through it. But in those moments, when I know my paycheck's supposed to hit, I found myself looking at my bank account saying, oh no, what I'm about to do? And I had my moment. I had my moment where I actually cried. Because you're looking at your bank account and you're like, there's nothing there. You know a check's supposed to came in. And for the average person who's never experienced setbacks in life, who never experienced the breakdowns in life, that probably would have hit them hard. But when you've been through where I've been through the last 7 years, where you've seen yourself go through breakdowns mentally, where you've seen yourself be homeless, where you've seen yourself go through divorces, where you've seen yourself go through moments where your own family and friends probably did not support you as you was going through your mental health treatments, then missing a paycheck is the least of my worries. It really was. So the fact that I was been nominated for this award and have received many accolades in 2019, I'm grateful for it. But it's moments like this where I can tell my story and encourage those who are experiencing their own mental health conditions that if I can do it, you can do it. I'm 34 years old. I've been working my whole life, but the best work I've ever done is to help those who are dealing with a mental condition. Since I joined NAMI in 2000, NAMI Metro here in the state of Michigan in 2015, my job has really just been to talk to people about my story. Because I was in denial. But no longer I'm in denial about what I have. I'm a superhero and I'm going to tell people every day, if I can do it, you can do it. So to our graduates, I just want you to stand up and say to yourselves, I'm a superhero. Look at this crowd. Can y'all please stand up with me? Look at everyone here. And turn around. And I'm going to say it with you. Say, I'm a superhero.
I'm a superhero.
So I appreciate this opportunity to come here and speak. I appreciate this opportunity to share my story, to share my testimony, and just to speak to the graduates. And I want to just leave you with these words. It's going to be moments in life where you face difficult decisions. But in those moments, For every difficult decision you face, there's a moment where you're gonna face decisions that will make your life better, greater. So think about the times when you had to go through this program, everything you had to go through, and know that the lessons you learned in this program are life lessons. They're not just lessons just to get you through a year and 18 months. It's life lessons that you got through this program that will carry with you for the rest of your life. Because when I went through my moment of not getting a paycheck, I thought about what my therapist said. Are you gonna let one incident affect the rest of your day? Are you gonna let one incident affect the rest of your life? And the reality is I could not allow that one moment to affect my day. I still had a bunch of things on my list I had to accomplish that day. So I cried for that moment, wiped my tears, and said, let me go out here and be great. So I want you to know when you have your moments, cry your tears. Yell if you have to in a mirror. Scream to the top of your lungs. But after you finish with that, in that moment, go out there and do something great.
Amen.
So thank you again for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and congratulations to the graduates. Powerful.